are you?
I'm very well. Thanks. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. From massive expansion. I'm already in it. You can feel it.
Sorry, the audio was really muffled. I'm wondering if it's my side or your side.
Does this make it better?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay, it's my music. I will not have my music. Okay, that's fine. Doesn't matter. Ah, actually, I just have to put the music in the background because it's really giving me a vibe over here. And I'm enjoying it so deeply. So I'm gonna keep it going.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, Reem.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Good, good. Sorry, I had I had a call from my sister and I was solving something to her, so that's why I told you 5 minutes.
There's no room for sorries, don't worry.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Ah, life, man. Guys, Reem, I know that you know this. Kris, I know that you know this. Misha, I'm sure wherever you are, you know this too. We create our own reality constantly. We are
Yes.
constantly co-creating it so much that no matter what, even if we tried not to, we couldn't help but create the exact reality that is truly coming from our soul's highest alignment, even when we think it's not. And I have been witnessing this and experiencing this like it's like a cosmic joke lately. And I'm just going to tell you a few little nuggets of inspiration because I'm lit up right now about how this plays out. Our subconscious has belief systems, and they're not always negative. They can also be positive. And our higher self, our soul, is guiding us always in alignment with what is best for us. Ooh, 1 second. I just remembered John was going to join us, but he's not in the Telegram group. So I actually need to send him the link. Pardon me. I'm glad I just remembered that. I knew I was forgetting something. That's what I was forgetting. Okay. So, our soul has only got our best interest ever because it is us. And we have been taught and we have been conditioned for generations, for lifetimes, that we are separate from that which we are. Yet that's impossible. Because if we were really, truly separate, we simply wouldn't have the experiences that we're having of being connected. Even that experience of being disconnected, you have to have a connection in order to feel that. Otherwise, you would just not exist, and we exist. Now, when this comes into play of the way our subconscious is guiding us, I've had some experience in the last month, mostly just in the last couple of weeks, where I've thought something, and in my conscious mind, I'm like, yeah, you don't have time for this, or this is not something that's really in alignment with you anymore. And you could go the route of having a conversation, just sending an email. And then I was like, that takes energy. Like that takes extra energy to pay attention to the thing that I don't really want. So I'm just going to take my attention away from it and then see what happens. And I kid you not, those very things have like vanished from my life. Things where normally I would be the responsible one. And I'd be like, oh, I have to do this out of obligation. And oh, I have to follow, like, these are old people pleasing behaviors, by the way. all these things that it's like, I should take the step forward. I should take the lead on that because like, even though I'm not in charge of it, I should make sure it happens. And even though that's a conscious thought, I can feel in my body, like literally in my physical body, I don't want to do that. It doesn't feel good anymore. And so I've then said and talked with God and my higher self, and I'm just like, and I actually have conversations out loud with God. I just say, can you please help me with this? Or I say to my guardian angels, please sort this out for me. Like, I need your support in this. Even as I was walking to school today, I was like, okay, God, show me how good it gets to get today, because I am on a few hours of sleep. I know I've been burning the candle at both ends, and I just hand it over to you now. I can't do anymore. And I also can't stress myself out about this. And the rest of the day unfolded miraculously. Things have fallen out of my life that were taking a lot of time for collaborative efforts that weren't giving me the benefit. However, I realized that they did give me a benefit to see like what's in alignment and what's not. But they also, I was put into those situations because I could see that I was helping those companies grow, because they would not do something or not honor something. And I'm like, what's going on here? And then as soon as I ask about it, then they'll like put a procedure or something in place. For example, I was collaborating with that Neutrally brand for vegan products, gummies and things. And while their products are very good, there was also a part of me going, but you don't need any of that. You know your body. You literally don't need any of these supplements. You use Psyche and you use the power of your beliefs and what you know to be true. So you don't need any of that. And it was taking me a long time to like create reels and do really beautiful things that I thought were excellent, but they never used. They didn't want, like, it's not that they didn't want them. It just, I guess, isn't on brand enough for them. Even though I was like really following the guidelines, really doing all the things. And I'm like, okay, clearly I'm just not aligning with your vibe of what you're looking for. And the other part of me was I was taking their melatonin for a month. And then I stopped taking the melatonin. And during the time I was taking the melatonin, I noticed I didn't really have any dreams. I would like go to sleep and then wake up and be like, what just happened? Like, as if I know I slept, but I didn't, it wasn't the same experience that I had. And since I had stopped taking them, I've had the most vivid, beautiful dreams, and I'm reconnecting with my subconscious mind and knowing and remembering things when I wake up. And I'm like, ooh, this even like reaffirms to me that it's like, I don't want to be putting extra supplements into my body. I want to detoxify. I want to take more out of me, not put more into me. So that's all this process of deconditioning. And this is played out in other ways. Like I've had stuff to do, and then one of my clients didn't show up today. And I was like, okay, well, blessing in disguise. I need that time. And so I got a little bit of work done. But I was like, how interesting. And also this morning, I woke up from a dream state knowing that there were some things that I was going to need to speak up about in this relationship, because I'm like, this is not okay. And the old me would have been like, oh, that's okay. But when you say that, when you go, nah, that's okay, what you're really doing is not having leaky boundaries. And I have elevated to this new level that I'm also going to be calling all of you forward with me on. And not in a shameful way, not in a like, get your shit together way, never like that. But in a very loving, it's a pattern that I recognize in me that we've all said as well. And we're going to clear the air, plug the leaky boundaries so that we're not getting in our own way on the conscious level. And it took me a long time to do that and figure it out. But as I like to make a mess and clean it up, I'm going to gift you the easier way to do it. And again, you can always choose to use it or not. However, you can keep staying stuck in the same cycles and you will continue to be frustrated. That's just a thing. Or you can start with one moment by moment to get to where you want to go. We often get into this state where we're like, yeah, I'm going to do that when we're in somebody's energy that inspires us and it's amazing and we come together and that's beautiful. And then maybe an hour later, maybe a day later, maybe a week later, it just depends on who you are and your kind of the environment you're in. If you go back into the same environment from which you came, you're going to basically fall asleep again and forget and keep repeating those patterns. It is crucial to change up your routine because, okay, maybe you can't just get up and move, but you can change your routine. You can change small things in your life where you interrupt the cycle. And that's what we're going to do today. And I'm going to point out to you some things and give you I'm going to give you a $6,000 lesson for free. And I'm going to give it to you today because if I can use it with kids and they can go, okay, yeah, I can try that, and they get it, I'm sure that adults can get it. I'm sure that you will also benefit a lot more from it because you have the capacity to really understand the full scope of it. We are going to learn today the self-coaching method that I use. I won't say every day because that's not true. I used to literally use it every day. I would journal it every single day and sometimes multiple times a day. Now I don't really do that. I often now think about it, but I did this for 9 months straight and I kid you not. I have a journal, like it's a big one, and I did it for 9 months because I had to reprogram my brain. If you don't know Psyche and you're not doing it with yourself regularly, if you're not using breath work and hypnotic journaling on a regular basis, if you're not tapping into your subconscious in some other way, like maybe hypnosis or something else, affirmations alone, they don't work. I mean, okay, that's not true. They don't work easily. They will work over a long period of time, which is why this method requires you to do it over a longer period of time so that it gets into the subconscious mind. If you already have a belief that you're ready to let go, you can switch it pretty quickly. But if it's another one that there's a lot of layers to it, you're going to spend a little bit of time with it. And that's beautiful. There's so much idea and pressure about rushing. Where are you going? You're going nowhere. Your soul is eternal. Even if you died, you could choose to come back to this life at this point and you would never know. And that's the really fun part. So please just take a breath to be able to go, I am here. I am now, and I am going to enjoy this journey. This game of life is about self-mastery. What do we master? Our mind, our emotions, our physical body, our relationships, our money, our spirituality. And again, I'll argue that because you're already spiritual, you don't have to master that. But these are the areas that we get to master. And so you can take a long time, you can do it the hard way, or you can do it in a joyful, playful way, knowing you can't get it wrong. You're never going to finish it anyway. You might as well just keep going. So before we dive into this model, thank you for letting me go on my little rant for a moment. I want to check in, and I saw in the group chat that you're feeling a little bit like, well, you can tell me how you're feeling about your goals, about your desires, and about what you think is coming up for you. I'd love to hear it from your perspective. Anybody want to go first?
I can go first.
Yeah, go for it.
So it's actually really funny because it was like as soon as I opened up in the chat about kind of letting myself down this past month and not really sticking to my action step, um, it like lit a fire under my butt. And I ended up making a lot of progress and having like a divine download on something that I was trying to figure out and was just not able to figure it out until I aligned the energy first and did a little breathing exercise and then meditation. And it was really funny because like I I kept getting this same idea over and over again, and it was like not quite hitting. So I was like, okay, I'll consider that, but are there any other ideas you can share with me? And it wasn't even 5 minutes into the meditation when the idea landed. So that was really quite a eureka moment, which was awesome. Um, Learning to really listen to my intuition, even if it doesn't make sense. So that's been fun too. And like really adopting the idea of pronoia. And even if something's not going my way, rejection is protection and all that stuff. Um, so I feel like good things are coming up for me, and I feel the momentum is starting to uh, get rolling again. So yay!
Thank you for sharing that. I want to highlight a few things that you mentioned. You mentioned when you took one action, when you moved just a little, you like started that push, and it's like touching a car at the top of the hill. You just give it a little push and it's going to start rolling down the hill, but you have to move first. You can't just sit around and waiting and expect something to happen and pray and hope. Do the praying and the hoping first, then you must move. You can't just pray and hope. It's that guy waiting on the roof. Jesus will save me. And he drowned. God, why didn't you save me? Well, I sent you a boat. I sent you a helicopter. I sent you you didn't get on. What do you want? Right? You have to take the action. You also said how you had that like eureka moment of listening to my intuition. When you take the time, and so we've been conditioned to believe, I don't have the time for that. I don't have the time to sit down and meditate. I don't have the time to sit down and breathe for 5 minutes. You don't not have the time to do that. That is what you need the time for, because it's your soul crying out to you to say, just be with me. I got all the answers. I can see the whole big picture. You want some? Yet, because of the conditioning, we are so into believing that we have to choose the hard way. And on that note, when you anchor into, of course, the universe pronoia is going to support me in the best possible ways. Duh, why wouldn't it? If it's going to support you in the worst possible ways and you believe that, why wouldn't you believe that you can have it the other way? It is unconditional. It's not like I'm unconditionally bad. You only get the bad things. No, it's unconditional. So the only answer that you can get is yes, should you be so bold as to ask. It's already aligned for you. And it's also another thing, it's not anywhere. It's already just here right now. And it's that alignment of the frequency that allows you to realize, see with your real eyes, that you've shifted through multiple parallel realities and now you're in that reality. And because of the quantum realm, it can happen like this. It can happen that instantaneously. I was praying today before I sent a message about my whole situation here. And literally the moment I finished the prayer, I got a ping on my phone with an answer coming through, and I laughed out loud. That's how good it gets to be, that instantaneous.
Yeah, I do notice like the more and more I listen to my intuition, the louder it seems to be. So it's a lot, it directs me more easily the more I use it,
Yes.
you know? Yeah.
They hear this, and I'll say it a couple times so you can hear it. Your intuition is the sum of the amount of times you have trusted yourself. Every single time you trust yourself, you add to your intuition, and it grows bigger and bigger and bigger, or stronger and stronger and stronger, whatever you want to call it. The amount, your intuition is the sum of the amount of times you trusted yourself. And every time you break your promise to yourself, you don't really take away from it, but you do give it a little shake up.
It's like very similarly, I believe it's the amygdala gets stronger the more you put yourself in like uncomfortable positions. You do something uncomfortable. Like that's why cold exposure is so beneficial. But yeah, it's very similar to that. Like you just use it or lose it, but the opposite. You use it so you don't lose it.
And uncomfortable isn't bad. We've just been taught to fear the unknown, that uncomfortable means bad. I mean, comfortable is also not bad, but too comfortable could be bad. Too much of anything is bad. Really, we want to have balance. And this comes from a word in yoga called santosha. It's contentment. And you can think of it like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. That one was too much. That one was too little. This one was just right. That's santosha, contentment, the perfect amount. Who else wants to share?
Hi. So it keeps saying low network bandwidth. So occasionally everybody freezes, and I lose like touch of what everybody's saying. But it's just like I think every few minutes everybody freezes on screen for me. But no, so I had my action steps. I did my action steps. I keep working on my action steps. But the one thing that got me to starting my psyche journey, and I continue with it today, is leaving my job and moving into something that is meaningful for me. And I still haven't exactly cracked what that is yet. And I try to sit with myself. I try to do messages, and I don't really get a response. Like, it's not what is my next step. I don't know, as hard as I try. And this was the last week for us to say we're not continuing. And it happened last year as well, where it kind of broke me. Like, April came and I was like, right, I have to be here now, at least till December. I have to be here. And this year as well, it didn't break me as much as it did last year, but I just felt I felt very disappointed in myself. Like, I keep thinking there's something I'm not doing right, that I can't get to what is my next step. Like, I'm here, I know I need to be here, but that path to it is not clear for me. And it's been the positive thing is that I don't feel as down as I would have otherwise. And I'm still quite calm about it. But that disappointment, yeah, it lingers. And then, my situation with Pete, and I tried so many times in the last couple of weeks to go find him, to have a conversation, and every time, and I have to walk like across campus. So I leave my building, walk across campus, go to where he is, and I can't find him. And I went like 7, 8 times, and it was just like, okay, then I need to progress in one thing. I need to close this chapter. I need to close this chapter, but neither is happening. So for me, it's been like just the realization that uh, I didn't leave. Like, I wanted to have the ability to leave, not have to worry about um, my family who are dependent on me. So it was a bit. I've been trying to stay positive and looking forward, but it's been as well. I feel like I'm missing something. Like there's something I need to do differently, but I don't know. I don't know exactly what it is.
Thank you for sharing and being so real. I honor you in your process, and I can relate heavily. I think you know that. I did that for a while, so I get it. It's part of the journey sometimes. And the question that I ask myself now that I stayed an extra year, even though I already knew I didn't want to, is what are the key things that I learned, one, from staying, or what could have I done differently? And I have answers for both. One, even though you said you'd stay, you can unsay. You can say, yeah, change my mind. And do the bold thing and move away. That's an option, right? Just because you said one thing doesn't mean you have to hold to it if it makes you unhappy. You also seem to have a belief that your family needs you to take care of them. And because you hold that belief, it can be no other way. And of course, they rely on you. Yes, I can understand that. And what if you believe they were empowered enough to take care of themselves, to know how to manage, even if you're not there? These are the questions that you can begin asking just to get curious. You can also ask yourself, what will I gain by staying for another year? For me, what I gained was the ability to know I am unshakable. Last year, I was not unshakable. I was very shakeable. This year, nothing fixes me. And I even realized that the amounts of coffee I drink and how much it makes me jittery, nothing can shake me. Even when I'm jittery on coffee, I'm like, yeah, just because I drank coffee, and I can regulate that nervous system. So I would really recommend that you develop practices, not just one of you, all of you. And I say this to you, I say this to me. When we develop practices daily that serve us to connect with the soul first and foremost through our breath, through our movement, we clear all the junk that filters out of our body at night. Because do you know that your brain's actually cleaned by it's like a car wash system for your internal sinus cavity during your sleep? And when you get for women, it's actually very important. And I'm saying this to me, I got like 3 hours of sleep last night with purpose, but normally I get a lot more. When you have 8 hours of sleep, between 7 and 8 hours, this process happens where your sinuses are flooded with the fluids from your body, and it basically clears out all the debris and the buildup from your brain that needs to be carried out. And if you're not consistently getting regular good sleep, you have a buildup of this junk in your brain, of this matter that you don't need. And one, that's pretty toxic. But when you wake up in the morning and you actually start moving right away, this is another way that we flush this out of our body, which is why it's important to drink water. It's important to have movement, and it's important to breathe, because through our breath, we actually exhale and expel some of those, some of that waste material. Today, by the end of our session, I would love to have each of you build a simple morning routine, and we'll get there in process. Reem, do you want to share?
Yeah, I will share. Actually, since our last call, first half of the month, it was horrible, frustrated, sadness all over all of this. But after that, I sat with myself and I tried to be unshakable for the situation in my life, because a lot of happening in my life was not so comfortable, but I am trying to accept in a nice way. I didn't do my action step actually because I wasn't in that mood to do it. Actually, I finished the English version of it, but the Arabic not yet. But it will come. Every day I put everything in front of me. I want to start, but never happen. But I try to clean my way to connect with myself and to concentrate more on myself. And I'm there. I will not say I'm trying. I'm doing it. Yeah.
You know, Kris mentioned something in the beginning where she said, yeah, there is that way. Like she was talking to her intuition and her meditation, like, yeah, there is that way that I could do it. I know it keeps coming up, but is there another way? And then it came to her. And the reason she kept putting off that one way, it wasn't really resonating with her. She didn't really want to do it. So she just circled around it because that wasn't it. But as soon as the other thing came to her and she gave herself enough time and space to let it come, then the answer came through and she jumped right to it because that lit her up. The same thing can be said for pretty much everybody. If you're forcing yourself to do something, the energy isn't there. Stop it. Stop forcing yourself to do the things you don't want to do. And, there is that thought of like, even if you feel something, ignore your feelings. I mean, you can, but you're going to be pretty miserable. So my process, and I know it's an unpopular opinion, and I know that like there's so many experts who will say all sorts of different things, but from my lived experience, if my energy isn't there for it, I'm not doing it, because the energy from which you take that action goes right on into it. So if I'm forcing myself into something, I don't want to do it. Ooh, let me tell you a perfect example of this and how this can resonate. Content creation, I make a ton of content, I just don't post a lot of it, is something for me that has been like the last thing that I'm getting around to get myself out there into the world. But I have a time crunch. On Friday, an article is coming out in a magazine about me, and it's a big deal. And so I have to give my Instagram a facelift. And I'm on it. I'm working on it. But I hadn't been working on it for so long. And I was talking to my coach, and he was saying, like, but like you could get somebody to help you with that and stay in your magic and la 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 la. I am my brand. I am the work that I do. I am my message. And it took me having to, I have had people help me in the past before, and it's never been great. It hasn't worked. It hasn't helped. Doesn't mean that that couldn't happen in the future. But he did recommend that I work with somebody else that he works with in his business. And she and I hopped in a call together, and she's nice. But I was also like, I could sense, because you got to trust your intuition. And we were also on a group coaching call with our coach, because she has the same coach. And from that, I could tell that she's not speaking to the same kind of people that I'm speaking to. And so I didn't have a ton of confidence that she'd be able to communicate in the way that I communicate. And then when we had a call, she was very nice. And then she sent me an email. So the way that I work is like, I really, truly am building a team. And so anybody that I work with, they essentially, and Kris can attest to this, you must do it my way. You must learn how to do it my way, and then you can do it your way. Because I want people to be in energetic alignment. And if you're not, and I want to do it your way too. Like, I want to learn your way, you learn my way. We get into energetic alignment, we get into sync, into harmony, and then we co-create from that space. But if somebody is not willing to do that, then it tells me it's really not an alignment for me. So I start a lot of things actually with energetic alignment or like energy exchanges because I want our energy to be in sync. So this lady, we had a great talk. I sent her the information about like how I wanted to work. She sent me an email back, and before even really reading it, I could feel the energy coming through the screen. And I read into the email, and she said, like, I'm not really able to do that right now because of finances and la 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 la. Like, I really need the finances, and there's nothing wrong with that, believe me. However, for what I'm building, I don't need the finances right now. And so I'm willing to play the long game because I'm not in survival mode and I don't want to be in survival mode. And I'm not here to like save people who are in survival mode anymore. It's trusting with full knowing. And so in her email, I could sense the energy was like, it was graspy, it was needy, and it was in a way that I'm like, this is not in alignment with the life I'm trying to create. And then I had this thought of, why is my coach not recommending me to everybody that he works with, knowing that he also works with me and he's felt the shift? And so then I had to work with my victim mentality coming up of, why aren't you sharing what I'm doing? And I was realizing that it's a little bit of a, that's my ego wanting some validation. But it's also like, if you're not willing to get into energetic alignment first, you're just playing in a different realm. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a realm to be in. However, if you want to move quickly, if you want to move easily, get your energy right first. Then you take the inspired and aligned action steps. So know that all the work that you're putting in now to understand yourselves, even if you don't see the progress right away, it is the most important part, because your vibration turns to matter, solid, liquid, and gas, water. Its vibration is what determines its state of matter. So only your vibration matters. The circumstances don't actually matter. It's your vibration, which leads us into this segue of, let's get into the coaching part. And I'm going to show you this $6,000, and I say it's a $6,000, it's actually a more tool, because one of the first coaching containers I was in, it cost over $6,000. And there were some good things from this, and there were a lot of bad things, but those bad things turned into good things because I'm like, I'm never doing it that way. I never want to blah, 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 blah. But one of the things that I learned from this coach was this model, and it was one of the most valuable pieces. So I'm going to pay it forward because that's what I do in all my coaching and guidance spaces. And now I think it is time. So let me share my screen. I'm getting less grandma-y sometimes. All right. So we are going to use the intentional model of reality. But first of all, I want to tell you about the unintentional model. So neuroscience tells us that we think about, on average, humans, about 60 to 90,000 thoughts per day. And about 90 to 95% of those thoughts are repeated. And so if you're always having the same thoughts, you're going to keep having the same emotions, which is going to keep generating the same experiences, and you're going to keep having the same lived life, and you're going to say, that's what life is, and I'm stuck. So what we want to do, just like the stress cycle, you can interrupt it at any point. We're going to start disrupting our own unintentional thoughts, our own unintentional feelings, and our own unintentional actions. And in order to do this, we got to start catching ourselves. And you might only make it through like 10, 20 minutes of your first day. And then you might fall into an unconscious loop. That's okay. The more you practice this, the more aware you become, the more conscious of your choices you become. So, like I said, circumstances. Maybe this should be a little bigger so you can see better. Circumstances. Okay. Circumstances, they don't matter. And I'm just going to put that underneath. Don't matter. Only your vibration matters. Now, you've been with me for a little while. Do you remember where our vibration comes from? Both. Yeah, both of them. So it's from the brain, but they come in our feelings. So emotions, energy in motion. They are the chemical cascade of hormones, of neurotransmitters from the brain that they essentially flow and cascade in our body, and they create the vibration, which we call emotions or feelings. So we have circumstance, we have thoughts, we have feelings. And here I want to just say that feelings are emotions, the energy in motion, which equals the vibration. And then we have actions. This is what you do with your body. And then we have results. So by the way, I've enhanced this model and I've made it better than what my coach made it, because she never really explained the part about like your circumstances don't matter and that your emotions are the energy in motion. She would just give us these letters, and I'll put them on the side so we can very clearly identify them. C, for circumstance. The thoughts. The T for thoughts. The F for feelings. The A for actions. And the R for results. Okay. Now, this is how most of us go through our day. Can somebody pick a circumstance? And if you don't understand what a circumstance, please speak up so I know that how to clearly define that for you.
You want a circumstance?
Yeah, circumstance.
Going to work and you've accidentally, unintentionally bothered one of your colleagues and they're being aloof and kind of giving you the silent treatment.
Thank you. And I want to just highlight that you gave me way more than a circumstance.
Oh.
You gave me thoughts, you gave me feelings. And what I really want to hone in on, and this is kind of why I didn't want to say anything at first. I want us to understand that a circumstance is so basic. Like, what's the weather? Sunny. It's kind of like the fact. So in that statement that you were telling me about, what's the circumstance?
Going to work.
Going to work. Perfect. And even I would say going is an action. So how about just work? Work. You might even say
Okay.
work relationship. That could be even more basic. Work relationship. Okay. Now, what is a thought that you had?
That my colleague was being aloof.
My colleague. Okay. Is being aloof. What do you mean by that?
Standoffish, distant when otherwise not.
Okay, my
For
colleague is
instance, yeah.
perfect. Okay, that's your thought. Oh, my colleague's being distant. When you think this thought, what feelings come up along with the thought?
Rejection,
Reject,
unwanted.
unwanted. Okay. Now, because you are feeling rejected and unwanted, what actions might you take from this state? Or what actions did you take? Or maybe what actions do you not take?
Well, I would try to not take it personally, because typically it's never about me.
Okay. So try to not take it personally. So what would you do?
This is hilarious because it goes back to vibration. Literally just change my thoughts around it.
Okay. Now you're speaking from a pretty aware place. Pretend that you're not aware. What would most people do? My colleague's being distant. I'm feeling rejected. I'm feeling unwanted. So how am I going to act? Or what am I going to avoid? Or what am I going to do?
I'd likely talk to them about it.
Okay. Talk to the colleague.
Communicate.
Yeah, communicate.
Yeah.
Okay. And you could also, if you weren't so you might you might avoid them. You might be passive aggressive to them. You might not help them out with something, or you might be overly helpful. You might be like getting into people pleasing behaviors. There's so many options that could come from this. I'm just giving you many different options to see how that could play out.
Yeah. I see
Okay.
that.
So the actions, I'm going to just put below, it's action, things you do and don't do. Actions are the things you do and don't do. Now, what is the outcome of taking these actions of feeling rejected and unwanted, of your colleague being distant? Because you talked to them and you didn't take it personally, what do you think the result might be? What do you think the outcome might be?
Well, either it could be not a big deal at all, and it was like what you thought and had nothing to do with you. Or it could make things more awkward.
So you could resolve your work conflict, or like your work relationship, you could strengthen it or you could weaken it.
Yeah.
Okay. Work relationship, better or worse, depending on the situation and how they react. Okay. Now, notice how the result usually goes back to the circumstance. Now, this is a pretty, it's actually kind of a middle, unintentional and intentional. Let's take another example where we're not being intentional at all and we reacted to something. Does somebody have a situation or a circumstance in their life or a scenario where they reacted recently instead of managed themselves in a better way and they went after, wish I handled that better?
So many.
Tell us one. Good, perfect. Yeah, we're gonna dissect these because I want you to understand how to use the unintentional thought model really well so you can understand the intentional one. Go for it.
Communicating with my parents.
Okay.
And I kept being very reactive because there's a lot of anger there, but like looking back at it, I was like, okay, um, I should have listened to the other perspective more before speaking. Like I should have paused before
For
speaking.
that, let's go through the unintentional thought model. Your
Okay.
relationship with your parents. You were angry. What was a thought that probably you were having at that time? Can you remember one?
Yes, that there this is very dysfunctional, this relationship.
Okay, she's thinking this is a very dysfunctional relationship and she's angry about it. Now, from that space, what actions did you take?
Instead of
Or what did you
like what I did was I got angry and I there was a lot of yelling back and forth.
I yelled at my parents
Mhm.
and they yelled at me. Okay, what
Mhm.
else? And actually, I'm not even going to put what they did. I'm just going to focus on you. I yelled at my parents. What else did you do?
I hung up.
Okay, hung up the phone.
Yes.
Okay, what else did you do?
Um, I didn't resolve the issue.
Okay, I'm going to put that in the result. Didn't issue still exists.
Mhm.
What else did you do or not do?
Um, Try to clarify it later.
I didn't try to clarify later. Okay. What else did you do or not do?
Just kind of accepted that um, I can't change the situation.
Ooh, and I'm going to put a big word here. I accepted that I am powerless.
Mhm.
Because if you think that you can't change it, that's
Mhm.
okay. Now, fast forwarding from that immediate situation,
Mhm.
what has what other actions have you taken or not taken? Because it's not just in that moment. What did you do for the rest of that evening or day, whatever it was?
I meditated a little and then I went to bed.
Okay, that's very healthy, actually. Meditated, because usually people might like, they could go binge eat or drink or numb out by scrolling on their phone, or there's lots of very unhealthy things people could do.
Mhm.
And then later the issue still exists.
Mhm.
Now, I think it's funny how I always spell relationship relationship. I have a funny habit of that. Okay, now let's move to an intentional thought model. And Kris, because yours is pretty aware, we're going to leave that one alone and we'll go back to another one for you in a minute. Let's use Misha's model and instead be very intentional. The circumstance is going to stay the same because the circumstance doesn't matter.
Mhm.
So the circumstance is the same. Relationship with parents.
Mhm.
Now, here is where we get intentional. And you can start anywhere. You can choose the thought that you want to have. You can choose the feeling that you want to have. You could choose the actions that you want to take, or you could choose the result that you desire. From my personal experience, it's very helpful to start with the feelings, choosing the feeling that you want, because again, that energy in motion bit, or maybe at the end, the result.
Mhm.
So It could, but please feel free to choose to start anywhere you want.
Mhm.
Imagine we're doing this again. Where do you want to start?
The thought
The thought. What thought would you like to have about your parents?
that we've worked and grown, and that this is um, something that's healed.
I have a healthy relationship with my parents. That is a thought. I have a healthy relationship with my parents.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, take a moment and actually close your eyes and say it to yourself. And anybody else can do this. I have a healthy relationship with my parents. And how does that make you feel inside?
Loved.
Loved. Okay. Now, from this feeling of loved, from this thought of I have a healthy relationship with my parents, what
Mhm.
actions do you take from this space?
Um, to communicate in a more could say to communicate with love, not anger. So that also involves listening, also involves presenting my perspectives, but in a much more calmer, peaceful manner rather than yelling.
Okay. What else do you do or not do?
Um, so I don't immediately get angry. I say, okay, you know, there is different life experiences, and I try to help them understand my perspective, and I work harder to understand um, theirs. And there's a lot of love and forgiveness there. So it's not uh, that the first reaction isn't hanging up or just tuning out.
Okay. What else do you do if you have a healthy relationship with your parents? How does this create a ripple effect in your life?
Oh, sorry, 1 second. Sorry. Um, I don't. There is no blame for a lot of things. Like a lot of things, I tend to say, well, you know, I think like this because of this. I think like this because of that. But if that relationship is healed, then there is no reason to hold myself back or look at myself in that negative way.
I stop holding myself back and looking at myself. And I'm going to put judging because that's essentially what you're doing, judging myself in a negative way. Wow. Okay, what else? So
Mm,
now if you're not blaming them, if you stop holding yourself back, what do you start doing instead?
I I live my life to my potential.
What does that look like?
Freedom from guilt, freedom from shame, freedom from fear.
What does that look like even more tangibly?
Um, that I I have loving, healthy relationships. Um, I'm able to build a healthy romantic connection. Um, and I'm doing something that makes me happy.
What do you mean by that?
Um, I'm not holding, like for example, I love to dance, and I used to perform on stage a lot. I stopped because my family wasn't very happy about it. So it's getting back into those things that make me happy.
Amazing. What about your job?
Um, with my job, hopefully I find something that that I can do.
Don't say
Like
hopefully.
I find something that gives
Don't
me joy, that gives me purpose.
here. Don't say hopefully.
Hmm.
Know yourself and know how powerful you are. But you told us at the beginning that you stay in your job because your parents depend on you. If
Hmm.
you have a loving, healthy relationship with your parents, what does that allow you to do with your choice of career?
I can uh how do I put it? Like, I don't have that fear that because both my parents are unwell. I don't have that fear that if something happens, and based on where they're located, that I can't take care of them. Like, I have that trust in myself that even if I uh, leave this job, I will find something that actually aligns with me and makes me happy.
Okay. Now, what's the result of all of this?
Um, I'm living my purpose. I've healed those wounds that needed to be healed.
Beautiful. Can we just anchor into that for a minute? I know that you're all feeling the vibration. This is powerful. You know who answered these prompts that I asked? The version of you who already sees this potential in the quantum field.
Mhm.
That's your highest self talking, Misha. Your highest self already is giving you the roadmap.
Mhm.
It's about tuning in and being quiet enough for a moment to listen to her. And you did that just now.
Mhm.
I really want to celebrate you in that.
Mhm.
And then I also want to ask, okay, so what choice are you going to?
Um.
Are you going to choose this unintentional thought model,
Mhm.
or are you going to choose this intentional thought model?
No, definitely you should go for then you know, I want to go for the I will go for the intentional thought model.
Yeah, and I love how you like even noticed it had worked on changing your language through
Mhm.
that. Shoulds are just coulds with some shame on top. So there's no shame here. This right now might seem like a bit of a leap, but only because you're making that distinguishment that it has to be challenging, that it has to be a big deal.
Mhm.
In the potential field of all that is, these are both equally valid and you are unconditionally supported in either of them. Now it's about knowing that. Are you loved by your parents?
Um, yes, I know I am. I know that they care, and they want to see me happy at the end of it.
And do you love you?
Yes, I I've gotten to the point where I want to make these changes because I love myself enough to know that when something doesn't align with me, I love myself enough to know that uh, I want to be happy.
So, because I wouldn't be me if I weren't always going to push you a little bit forward. What is one action step that you are going to take this to start living from this model instead of this model? What's one thing that you can do this? And don't try to eat the whole elephant. Just eat one bite at a time.
What comes up is that I need to have a conversation with my parents about the direction I want to move in, and that yes, I will of course be available, like if their health worsens or something, I will be available and take care of them, but that it might not look the same month to month, or yeah. So I've tried having this before, where I've said, like, this is something that it really bothers me, and I don't want to continue with this job. But
Can
that's
you
that's
come
always.
Can you come from it with love? Now that your dominant vibration that's going to be leading the way is coming to them with it from love instead of worry or fear or judgment about what are they going to think, what do I think? If you come
Yeah.
at it with love, do you think that might shift it?
Yes, I think just having that conversation, not with like, uh, this is my responsibility and I need to fulfill it, but rather I do it because I care, and I know you appreciate it, and I know you want to see me happy because you do love and support me. So you have to understand that when I do take a break to explore my options, whatever support I'm able to provide for you is going to look different.
And I just want to anchor in for you that when you take a break, when you slow down and have enough time to get still and quiet and listen to your soul, it will speak to you. But if you're always busy, if you're always doing things that you don't want to do, how can you hear the voice? Breaks are okay. We've just kind of been taught that they're not. Speaking from the queen of not taking breaks. I know. Okay to slow down. When you take a break, time stands still with you. Because remember, the soul is timeless. Not judging you. Take a break. Even winter is a hibernation season. Take a winter. Not like a literal season winter, but like hibernate. Go in. How do you feel?
I feel hopeful that something, like, I keep trying to find that one answer, and I feel hopeful that it is there. I just need to keep digging.
Yeah, daily steps. One bite at a time with that elephant. Okay. So we will lovingly hold you accountable for this. And I will recommend to everybody, myself included, let's be a little bit more active in the chat to hold each other up and inspire each other to move. Because it doesn't have to be like a long message. You could just say, hey guys, today, thinking of you, go get that action step, and I'll lead the charge on this, but everybody. Does anybody else have something they would like to work through with this model? And let me know, was that helpful? Was that going through this model helpful?
Yeah, for me, I could see what changes I need to make immediately, with the way I process that relationship.
Yeah. And every day, literally for those 9 months, I would split my page in half. And on one side, I would write CTFAR. And on the other side, I would also write CTFAR, but I put unintentional and intentional at the top. And I just go through the model unintentionally. Like, this is what I did. This is what I've always done. This is how I am. And then I go, okay, now if I choose how I feel, or if I choose my result, or if I choose what I want, like what I want to think instead, if I choose with purpose, intentionally, then I fill out the rest of it. So try it, and I'm gonna give you guys a challenge. Not a really hard one, but I'm gonna give you an accountability challenge this week, in this month. Does anybody else have something they'd like to have some coaching on, have some guidance on, where they feel stuck, and we could work through it together?
Me, if nobody else.
We still got lots of time, so go for it.
Okay. Actually, my problem is with my brothers and sisters. I don't know the root of the problem or the source of this feeling, but in my heart, I love them. I want them to be safe, good, happy, but stay away from me. Okay? I I feel really uncomfortable when I contact them or I call them. Not all, some of them, but in general, this is what I feel. I want them to be fine, but not close to me, and I cannot be with them in for long.
Okay, so your relationship with your brothers and sisters is the circumstance, and it doesn't matter. But the thoughts, the feelings, the actions, and the results, well, the results are just kind of a result, but the thoughts, the feelings, and the actions matter. So what's one thought that you're having? Like, I want them to be okay, but not near me.
Yes.
I want them to be okay, just not near me.
Yeah. And not contacting a lot, not talking. Sometimes even calling, it's a challenge for me.
Okay, what feeling does this thought make you have?
Bad,
What,
Good.
but be specific. What do you mean by bad?
bad in a way, like, in our culture, the family is like, okay, you need to contact the family to talk to brothers and sisters
Yeah.
to be.
So what's the feeling that you're trying to name?
Sorry.
What's the feeling that you're trying to name? Can you stop trying to describe the thoughts you're having? What is the feeling you're trying to name?
I'm not sure. It's like not good person or not.
Yeah. And what you do you know the word in English for it, or because you're describing it well?
I don't know in English what the meaning of this.
What it sounds like you're describing is guilt and shame mixed together.
Oh, yeah, guilt. Yes, I know this word, but I feel like maybe shame, yes, but I didn't know that I can call it shame or guilt.
Yeah. So that what you're describing is a
Yeah,
feeling.
actually, yes, I feel like shame and guilt and doubt in myself. Like I am, I am a good person or bad person. It's my family. It's my blah blah blah. But it's for me. It doesn't mean anything. Even if my family, okay. So what? My brother, my father, and my mother not in anymore in life. So I don't feel I need to be with my brother and sister.
Okay. So what actions do you take or do you not take?
I I call them from time to time, very short time. And what I don't take that I don't open any subject with them, any like, okay, just how are you, how the situation, especially they are in Syria and in very bad situations. So I just make sure that they are safe and good. And I keep like I'm not saying loudly, but in my heart, I keep telling I don't want them in my life or close to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what is the result of all of this?
I'm not feeling satisfied. I'm like I'm not balanced in my life.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
even when it's coming to my husband, even him, I want them to say like, don't, okay, everything I needed to be in not casual way, okay, with my husband also.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, let's be intentional. And
Okay.
when I'm doing this model, everybody pay attention, because even if Reem's exact situation doesn't reflect something in your own life, by witnessing us go through this model of the shift and the prompts that I'm going to ask her and the things I'm going to get her to really reflect on, this is where the gold comes in, because you're going to be doing this with yourself. It's a self-coaching model, so that you can really witness yourself and get into the nitty-gritty. Okay, from here,
Going to the intentional version.
yes. So this was unintentional.
Yeah. Can I know what the cause of this feeling? Because, okay, I am from a
No,
big
you
city.
can't know yet. You're going to know through this process.
Okay,
I know what it is,
because
and
I
I'm going to help you discover it through this process.
okay, because I did a lot of psyche session on this. I tried to do meditation about this, but I'm really not getting out of from it.
Well, let's see if we can crack that code today. And I don't want to tell you, because one, it wouldn't be fun if I stole your thunder. You need to have this realization for yourself in order for it to have the impact it needs to have.
Okay.
But we will get there. I will guide you to it. Okay, so the relationship is still the same with brothers and sisters. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
And I want to emphasize that it doesn't matter. You having feelings, emotions, is what makes it matter. So, what would you like to feel? And I'm on purpose gonna go to the feelings right away with you, even though you could start anywhere. I want to go right to the feelings with you. You're feeling right now a lot of guilt and shame and self-doubt, questioning if you're a good person or not. What would you like to feel instead?
Calm and relax, because it's my right to choose the way I want to contact with anybody in the world. Because
Okay, yes, you're
I'm
right. Calm and relaxed.
yeah.
And you just told me it's my right to choose who I want to contact with anybody in the world. I'm going to write that thought.
But it's hard for me.
Okay, wait. It's my right to choose who I contact in the world. And now you just said, I want to feel calm and relaxed. It is my right to choose. And then you threw more doubt on your path. But it's hard for me. Why are you making it hard for you? Why are you choosing to make it hard?
Because, okay, I know I'm not responsible for their thoughts, but in our culture, it's weird, you
Good.
know?
Yes,
If
wait, stay there.
Okay.
You just told me exactly why. In our culture, I said, why are you choosing to make it hard? And you just told me, because in our culture. So are you following what you want to do? Or are you following what you should do based on your culture?
What I want to do.
Okay, and currently, are you following what you want to do, or are you following what you should do?
Actually, I'm following what I should do.
Yeah. So you're letting the shame, the could is like shame. A should is a could with shame on top. You're letting the shame override what you know you want to feel because your culture told you you should take care of them. Even though you already told me, I don't really believe that I have to. It's my right to choose who I want. So you've identified it yourself right now. You are intentionally every time choosing to go against what you want.
Yeah, because I get you, because I used to take care from everybody in my family around me more than myself.
Mhm.
And lately, last years, I start to note that I am not there in my life. So I start to feel like, okay. And even when I was kid, I used to be alone a lot. So I get used to this. But when I grow up, I start to take care with everyone and they used to this. And now I feel like, okay, this is why I'm not easy to me.
But you're choosing to say it's not easy. When really, if you look at how easy it is, you can identify it right away. Was it hard for you to decide how you want to feel? That you want to feel calm and relaxed? Was that hard to choose?
Mm.
Was it hard to choose the thought, it's my right to choose who I contact in the world?
Yeah.
Now, this might be the harder part, but only because you're making that distinction. What are the actions that you would choose if you really did want to be calm and relaxed? From a calm and relaxed place, knowing that it's your right who you get to contact in the world with knowingness, not listening to cultural programming, what would you do differently? What actions would you take?
Doing like stop blaming myself and keep like putting my boundaries in like in calmness in my heart, not like I'm putting the boundaries and same time I'm feeling like shame and guilt.
Yeah, so you're going to put your boundaries firmly and lovingly.
Yes, yes.
Okay. And then in the real world, what does that look like? Are you going to keep calling them?
Yes, from time to time, yes, but not let them enter my life too much.
Okay. What does that look like in your day-to-day life of how it makes you feel about, you said before you were not satisfied and you're not feeling balanced, that there's stress even with Nicholas. What would that change?
Calm, not monkey mind like why I'm doing this. They will be sad, why but I will stop spending time thinking about how they react or how they think about me or
Because you can't control how they're going to perceive you, and you also have no idea. You have an idea of how you think that they're perceiving you, but you actually have no idea how they're perceiving you. You're just making it up. So you're telling a story that's not serving you. Instead, you could tell a story that's better. Oh yeah, they don't mind at all that we're not talking every day. They're busy living their own lives. They've got their own thing going on, and they don't want to move here anyway. So I've got my life, they're living their life, we're both good.
problems start why I am starting feeling this stress about this subject because they are starting to think that they might move here because of the situation in Syria. So this make me like, oh my God, why I came to Dubai from Canada? I don't want to be close to anybody from my family or Nicholas' family.
And sure, but they aren't there yet, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's a circumstance. They're not there yet, so it literally does not matter. Your vibration matters. So if you're worrying about it, that's what turns to matter. but they're not there yet. And so the circumstance doesn't matter yet. And even if they did come, then you can make a new plan.
Yeah, of course.
So you're letting yourself make all these stories up that aren't helpful instead of making up stories of things that would help you.
Yeah, actually, that last month, all about this in my head.
And it's okay because, you know, this is the human, but this is why we bring awareness to it. This is why we do this model, to be so aware and to catch ourselves and go, oh, well, that's not true then, is it? Now, if you're stop blaming, shaming, and judging yourself, if you keep your boundaries firmly and lovingly, if you only call them for time to time, but not let them in your life much, and if you stop thinking about how they're thinking that you think they think you are, what's the result? How would you feel? What would your life be like?
Really calm, because I am spending a lot of my energy on this, and
My
it's
energy.
I'm not living my life. I'm not enjoying my life, because it's like night. It's like,
Yeah, of course, it's consuming you. You're giving it all your energy. So now your energy would be focused and channeled on living my life.
yes.
You know, and maybe in a way that you want, in the way I desire. Okay, Reem. Now you told me before, but it's hard. But we also just myth busted that and said, well, actually, that's just a belief that you have that it's hard. Society isn't judging you, it's you judging you. Nobody else is judging you but you.
Yes.
And even if other people are judging you, it's not your responsibility to care what they think of you.
Yeah.
You have a responsibility, and Misha, this goes for you too, and Kris there too, and me. We all have a responsibility to other people to be the best version of ourselves, to be the most authentic to ourselves that we can possibly be. We do not have a responsibility for how they perceive us. We can't control that. So we have to be responsible to ourselves by being the most self-loving we can be. And that creates a ripple effect. And even if it means boundaries are set up where other people don't get access to us, that's okay. Because if that's loving for us, it shows other people what our standards are. And if we hold ourselves to a high standard, they will meet us if they're meant to. And if not, they will exit stage right.
Yeah. Yeah. Why I am in this, me and my sister here, she's opposite of me. She loves family. She do a lot of stuff, and they start to feel like, why she not you? So I I I really felt like with shame, with that, with doubt with myself. So, but I am really comfortable when I am alone. Not only my, like, I love to live my life quietly.
Yeah. So love yourself and honor that about you, and just be okay with it, because you're always gonna have somebody have an opinion about you, but it's not your business to care what other people think about you.
Okay.
And I know sometimes that's easier said than done, but it's the daily reminder. So keep practicing this every day. Now, what is one action step you're going to take this week so that you go in the direction of what you say you desire?
Stop blaming myself about this.
Beautiful. And what does that look like? Whenever a bad feeling of blame arises, what are you going to do instead?
Talk to myself and take, like, just calm the thought in my mind, because it's my right and it's my life, and they are living their life. Okay, I know the situation around them not safe, but I'm not God for anybody.
And
God,
they're choosing to stay.
Sorry?
And they're choosing to be there. That's their choice.
Yes.
I mean, I know there's a little bit more nuance to it. I get that. But there's always choice.
Yeah, of course, of course.
So for more of an action step, and this is something that I will say about how this thought model works. I would, if I were you, and this is what I did many times, I worked on the same thought every damn day until it shifted and I stopped having that thought. So to Reem, tomorrow, I would go back to this exact same model and I would write down the same circumstance. And then I would see, okay, what other thought is coming up today? What other feelings are coming up today? What other actions am I taking or not taking? And what's the result of that? Now, if I choose to feel on purpose a different way, what other thoughts are coming up? What other actions am I going to take today? And I would go on this same circumstance until it shifts. Now, it doesn't mean don't do other circumstances, use it for other things too. But if this is the thing that's consuming you, keep working on it until you switch that thought. Because
Yeah, this is the most challenge in my life these days because I don't know why and from where. I know I grew up in a big family and we are always together, and this big families make me feel crazy.
yeah,
Okay. This is why, okay, I respect family, but no need to be with them together always.
yeah, absolutely. So you could even work on your circumstance of your relationship with family. Make it a little bit more general and just keep asking yourself those questions about why do I feel like I have to follow what they do, even though that's not me. Just keep getting curious.
Okay.
Okay. So was that helpful?
Yeah, yeah.
Do
I
you
think,
feel
yeah. But I think I need to do it more because I feel still terrible.
yeah. And it's not because this is not it's like affirmations. You have to practice. You have to keep doing it.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
think so many people get this work wrong because they do it once and they go, why didn't it work?
Yeah,
Because you have so much pattern and programming that you're overwriting. And so if you're not staying consistent and using your new software upgrade each day, you waste it. So just
yeah.
keep going in the same direction of what you do want instead of going back in the direction of what you don't want. And when you go back by accident or unintentionally you fall asleep, just give yourself grace and compassion and get back on course.
Okay.
Kris, are you there with us?
I am here.
So we went through a thought model for both the ladies that was unintentional to intentional. You kind of started with a more intentional one. So let's take something in your life, if you want, opportunity is available to you, that is the thing that you keep not doing or self-sabotaging on or keep going, why am I not moving forward? What's some area of your life that you'd like some hack in right now?
Hmm. Um, yeah, I would like some hacking with keeping my promise to weight train, strength train.
All right, the circumstance doesn't matter, but it's weight training. Strength training.
Strength training.
Yeah.
Really, yeah.
Okay. What is the thought that you're having lately about this?
Um,
What's one thought that comes up?
That it's not convenient.
Okay, Kendrick. It's not convenient for me to train. Okay. Then what's the feeling that arises? And if you need to close your eyes, have the thought, it's not convenient for me to train. What's the feeling that comes up?
Frustration.
Okay. Then from this place of frustration and it's not convenient, what actions do you take or not take?
I don't go to the gym.
Okay, what else?
uh I don't get stronger.
What else? What do you do instead?
Usually eat and sleep.
Okay. What else?
Mm. This is, I guess, well, yeah.
Okay, it doesn't matter if it's fitting or not.
Well, yeah, it just might be more of a feeling than an
What's
action. Disappointment. Like I'm hard on myself. Like that's an action. Yeah.
I'm hard on myself. What does that look like?
Um.
Negative self-talk.
Yeah, negative self-talk and like a lot of shoulda, woulda, couldas. Like you should have done that, and if you did that instead of that, you could have done that, and da da da.
Okay, spiral thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of spiral thinking. Okay, great. Now, what's the result of all of that?
I feel bad. Bad feelings.
Feel bad, and you're not stronger.
Yeah.
Like, and in all the ways, like you're not helping yourself with your mind and your body.
Yeah, that's the most important part. Like that's the whole point is I'm supposed to be getting stronger and like it's not even that I'm supposed to be. Like I need to be.
Okay.
I require to be stronger than I currently am. Uh
Okay. So
so yeah.
let's get intentional with this. So I can't talk and type at the same time. Hold on.
Me neither.
Okay. Weight strength training. The circumstance doesn't matter. Only your vibration matters. So let's go right to the vibration. What feeling would you like to have?
The feeling I would like to have.
Well,
Excitement.
okay. And you say excitement about weight and strength training?
Yes.
Now, I want you to go a little deeper than that. Because
Okay.
this is your surface level, and I hear that, and I see that. Yep, absolutely. Let's go deeper though. When you close your eyes and think of yourself, envision yourself as somebody who does go to the gym regularly, what is the feeling that comes up in your body? What is that feeling that you're really anchoring into, that you really desire? Because I would argue that it's deeper than excitement.
Yeah, it's more like fulfillment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's an even deeper feeling than fulfillment. It's what little kids do.
Oh, they play
It's
or
and
explore.
well, when they did something and they're like, look what I did.
Oh.
I did that.
Pride? Pride?
Huh. There's this sense of accomplishment, of pride, of success, of achievement. So yes, it's fulfillment, but deeper than that, it's pride, but not in a bad way, in a very good way. Pride, accomplishment, success. And really that is all about strength. You're empowered. So if you can really anchor into those feelings, now from that place, and we can just like call it pride, because pride is a pretty all-encompassing one. What thought would you have from that state? Or from fulfillment, or from whatever version seems to resonate with you.
I'm struggling with this one.
Okay. Imagine, close your eyes. And imagine you are the person who shows up at the gym, however many times you want to show up at the gym. That you've done this weight training and strength training, and you have this sense of fulfillment. You're looking in the mirror, or you're pressing whatever. What is the thought that you have?
I can do it. I can
I
do the
can-
hard things.
I can do the hard things. And is it even hard anymore? That's my next question to you. Is it even hard?
Yeah. That's why I can do it is probably more accurate.
I can do it. I can lift that. I can push that.
Yes, literally. I just need to be able to carry a lot of shit.
I can carry a lot of shit. Exactly. Okay. Now, if that is the thought, I can do it. I can carry a lot of shit. What is the action from a person who stands tall and proud, feels fulfilled, accomplished, strength and empowerment, and goes, I can do this. I can carry a lot of shit. What actions does that version of you take?
She goes to the damn gym.
She goes to the damn gym. How many times a week? Let's get clear. She goes to the damn gym. How many times?
Like 2 to 3 times a week.
2 to 3 times a week. Okay, what else does that girl do? Even when she would go, yeah, today I'm not, old me would have not gone to the gym. What does this version of you do?
Go to the gym.
How is she doing? Like, let's get clear on how she's moving. Is she like excited? Is she determined? Is she what is the oomph behind the way she moves? Does she go rain or shine? Does she pack a bag and leave it by the door at night? Does she put an alarm in her phone that lets her get her ass out the door? What does this girl do?
Well, she definitely puts it in her calendar.
Puts it in her calendar. Okay, what else does she do?
Uh,
Does she make a cool playlist so that when she goes to hype herself up to get out the door to go to the gym?
That's a cool idea.
Okay. Do you want me to write it?
Sure.
Make the hype for the gym playlist. Okay, what else does this girl do to motivate herself? Think back to the 90s. What did we used to do with magazines?
Like make collages?
Yeah, cut shit out and put it up and be like, that's gonna be me. Make a collage. Be creative, inspire yourself. I mean, you don't have to make a collage, it's just a suggestion. Or put a note on the wall, or on the mirror. What else does this version of you do?
Creates like a workout routine.
Yeah, create a workout routine.
Ooh, I know what else too. Schedules classes with personal trainers. 'Cause I
Yeah,
can do that with my gym.
amazing. And if this was somebody else, and maybe not, I mean, it could be you. Maybe you buy a cute new workout outfit that motivates you to get to the gym. Maybe you get a cute new water bottle or pair of shoes because you know that that's going to be the version of you who shows up rocking her cool kicks. Oh,
I do need a new water bottle.
hey, get the new water bottle. Get a new water bottle. Okay. So see what happens when we sit with it and we go a little bit deeper and we just go, if I'm already that version, if I embody that version of me, I don't worry about finances. I don't worry about time. I don't worry about any of this bullshit. I just am that person. That version of me, she buys a cute new workout outfit because I know it's going to make me feel fire when I get to the gym. And again, this is just an option. It doesn't have to be your truth, but I'm going into that version of me who already exists. That's what that version of me does. That version of me packs my gym bag and puts it by the door because I know that's one less step I have to do.
Yeah, and there's also another layer too that I'm discovering now as I'm thinking on it. Because I usually go to the gym with my partner, and I'm just realizing, not just realizing, but with this new part-time job that I have, it makes it really difficult to be able to go to the gym with Jesse.
So I go with or
So
with my partner.
yeah, yeah.
I go anyway. It doesn't matter if he's going, I go because I'm doing this for me. Okay, now what is your action step this week, Kris? What's one thing you're going to do to enter this?
I'm going to schedule my next 2 weeks of gym visits in my calendar.
And then I'm going to push you a little further. You must go at least once.
Oh, I was gonna say that, but then I thought maybe that it wouldn't
Because
count.
again, it's like praying. I'm praying to God that I'm gonna go to the gym. Go to the fucking gym. Go.
Yeah, yeah.
I go at least. And if you said 2 to 3 times, let's hold you accountable. At least 2 times.
Okay.
You don't have to go 3, but go at least 2 times because if this is the version of you, hold yourself to that standard. You can do this. I believe in you. We all believe in you. You believe in you. That version of you already exists.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, for everybody, this is the next part, and Kris already alluded to it a little bit. create for yourself a routine. If you don't already have a routine, you're not optimizing on the genius that is you. And I don't mean you wake up, you roll out of bed, or maybe you don't roll out of bed, but you wake up, you brush your teeth, wash your face, do whatever your bathroom thing is, and then you like go to work or go to the thing that you have to do. That's not a routine. And if you are picking up your phone near the first thing in the morning, knock it off. You are taking up precious real estate, and instead of being with your highest self that you just described today, you're getting everybody else's information and all their shoulds. You should do this, you should do that, you should do blah. Leave your phone alone. If it's your alarm, fine, turn off your alarm. But if you could, for at least the first 10 minutes, start with 10 minutes. Not access your phone other than turn off your alarm. You will see a huge shift, I promise you, in as little as 3 to 4 days. I promise you also that unless you're somehow like on an emergency doctor call, the world can wait 10 minutes. When you protect your energy, especially in the morning, that beautiful sovereign time when you are connected still with source because you've just woken up, you get to tune into your infinite potential. And just start small. Don't eat the whole elephant at one time. Don't go, I'm not going to touch my phone for the whole first to half an hour to an hour of my day. If that's not a reality to you, don't start there. Start with, I would say 5 minutes, but I believe that you're all strong enough to go for 10 minutes. Because there's a shift that happens between 5 and 10 minutes. The window is about 7 minutes where you come out of the theta brainwaves and into the alpha brainwaves. And that time is very precious. And that's where you're reprogramming your subconscious mind. So if you can biohack yourself for a week, even a few days, you will see the shift. Spend time in gratitude, in prayer, in stillness, in asking your intuition to show you your next best step. Or just posing the question to the universe and then letting it go. Because surrender, the other thing is that when we surrender, it's not that we're giving up, we're giving in to all of ourselves. And we're saying, okay, show me everything because I am everything. Show me everything, how good it gets to get. I remember that I am source. And I remember that you are too. And if you keep forgetting, I'm here to keep reminding you because I don't forget anymore. I used to forget a lot. And to be fair, there are moments in my human experience where I still forget once in a while. And that's when I reach out to you guys to help me remember. But I don't forget this on the day-to-day, on the moment-to-moment now. You are source embodied. You literally create your reality. Yet you have to pray and then move. Meditate and then act. Write the schedule and then do the schedule. We have to move in this life. Movement and sleep, both important. Rest and move. How do you all feel? Are you feeling whole and complete? Are there any questions? Are there any, what should I do in a morning routine? Do you have those kind of questions? Do you know what you could do in a morning routine? Because I want you to leave here, each of you, with at least 1 or 2 things in your morning routine.
Well, I already do breathing exercises every morning.
Okay.
My bad. I have to hop off real quick. That's why I just wanted to come on and then I gotta go.
I saw the hand up. I thought you raised it.
Oh, no.
You don't have to raise your hand. I was just doing what it's doing.
Sorry, teacher.
Like,
But no, I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling the motivation. I know that's fickle and fleeting, so I'm not going to hang on to that. But I'm really excited about anchoring into the energy first, because
yes.
that's really not hard to find. I've discovered,
I
if especially if you take the time and like just shush and find it first and then go. So I already do breathing exercises, and I would love to incorporate a little meditation right after.
and I would
Um,
encourage you also, everybody, do this intentional thought model every day this week. In the morning, add this to your morning routine. Don't use your phone. Do a breathing or a meditation, even for a few minutes, and then do one intentional thought model. Please, please, please try it for 3 to 4 days. Commit to yourself. You are worth it. Do it for at least 3 to 4 days, if not a whole week, because you will see a shift and then you will want to keep going. If you do it one day, you know, repetition key to build those new neural pathways so that you rewire yourself. Yeah, Misha, go for it.
I had a question. So this is something I was struggling with as well. Uh, I did all the balances, but when it came to finding out like what should my next step be for to take to move forward, I that was something that left me completely blank. That I don't know what is the action step. So as we were going through it, that I was thinking, okay, you know, what is a feeling I would like to have, or what is the thought process I would like to have. But when it comes to the uh, action step, that is where I get really stumped because I don't know, okay, what I need to do, because I don't know what is the step I'm trying to get to.
Intuitively, I'm reading into this, and
Mhm,
sometimes the next step is you need to do nothing. You need
mhm,
to actually do nothing, and you need to be.
mhm,
You need to do more, you need to be more. And so, especially because I know you and I know your situation, you're actually being tested in a very nuanced way where it's like, can you just sit still? Can you be okay with not having an answer and trusting the divine, trusting
mhm,
your highest self, trusting that it's all coming together for you? But
mhm,
you have to be willing to say, okay, we're going to do things a different way. I'm going to be. What are you doing? I'm not doing, I'm being. Well, what do you mean you're being? I'm being here. So you're waiting? No, I'm not waiting. I'm being. I'm being patient. I know, I trust, and because knowing goes beyond trust, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt,
mhm,
God, universe, source is on this for me. I put in my request. I sent the email. I sent the memo.
mhm,
Well, but what are you doing? I'm being. And what does that look like? I'm meditating. I'm smiling. I'm
mhm,
enjoying. Oh, and how's it going? Yeah, great.
mhm,
Because there's a part in our journeys, especially when you're further along, and it's not like it's better then, it's just you're further along, where now the test is, can you hold steady? And can you hold your vibration
mhm,
while the outer world isn't really changing yet? Because
mhm,
God's divine plan that you put in such a request for is being arranged behind the curtains, like the intermission. And soon the big ta-da reveal moment will be opened, but you need to be patient. And it doesn't mean you're waiting, you're patiently being.
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So some, we don't need to do more. We need to be more. And I can only say this from so much personal experience, especially like in the last few days where I'm like, can't do anymore. So
Mhm,
today I let myself be, and then everything came through in like an hour.
mhm,
I surrendered. Finally, I said, fine, God, it's yours, not mine. You do it.
Mhm. Yeah.
You don't have to struggle. You don't have to do the heavy lifting.
Okay. Thank you.
And welcome. And remember, you've got me, you've got Reem. This week, sorry, I am launching something and I do not have time. But after this, I will have time for life. This week is a no on everything. Guys, I'm so excited to share with you what's coming on the weekend. So I'm going to share it all in the group, but you know, when we work on our manifestations for so long, we do get to just sit in the knowingness that I did all the work. I can't possibly do more. Now I get to be here and enjoy it. And I always say that I'm going to do it and show you. I can tell you so much, but I will show you with my actions.
So proud of you, Lizzie. We're so happy.
Thank you. And I'm equally proud of both of you. And I want to say how much I love you and I honor you both. You have been such staple humans in my life. And I appreciate you and you journeying with me and even letting me come on here and yabber at you for a couple of hours once a month. I love that you consistently show up for you. You guys know you're already doing it.
We are proud and love you a lot, a lot, a lot.
And be proud of you and love you a lot. I am you and you are me, just a different version.
Of course. We are lifting each other up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much, Lizzie, for hosting these sessions and creating this space. It always like makes me think uh, about the direction I need to move in, but also realize that I'm not alone. You know, I have a community and I have a family outside of myself that it's interesting how we all connected, but yeah, I guess it's mutual admiration and appreciation. Thank you so much.
Bless you, and hopefully all your life will be just the same way you want it or you need it.
Exactly. It'll be however it's meant to be. And it's taken a while to get to the place of that being okay. And it's all okay always.
Yes, of course. As easy as there, everything will be fine.
Always.
God,
Yep.
it us all.
Thank you, ladies. And pop yourselves in the group chat. I'm gonna set an alarm on my phone right after we get off to check in every day to say, hey, did you do an intentional thought model? And even if you want, share your thought model in there because it will help each other to go, oh, I see that process. I see how they thought through this. And if you want, you can say, I'm open for feedback, and then other people can give you feedback.
Okay, and you will share with us this.
Yeah.
This word, no? Okay.
Do you want me to share this whole document just as it is?
Yes, please.
Yeah, no problem. I will share it.
Easier to get used to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Thank
it's just practice.
Yes, thank you. And I am curious how it will work in my situation and things will shift in my mind to be more calm.
Yeah, I'm sure it will work really well.
Because
Because
it's
it really is
very
the intention.
frustrating for me.
Choose how you want to feel. So I'm working with some kids right now in my private one-to-one containers. Isn't that fun? I love conscious parents. When a parent comes to me and goes, whoa, can you work with like they have a session with me and they go, that was good. Can you work with my kid? Yep. Can you work with both my kids? Yep. And I love conscious parents because they are the ones who are breaking the mold. They're going, what the schools are teaching them, that doesn't work. what you're doing, I want my kids to learn from you. And in this way, I can help mold young minds. And I taught a kid this week, you get to choose how you feel. Do you know that? And his response was like, okay. And we went through this intentional thought model together. And he could realize that his shyness was preventing him from enjoying something fully. And this kid's 9. So if he can do it, I know that you can do it. Yeah, you get to choose.
Okay. I love you, Misha.
Love
Love you.
boss. Talk to you soon.
Bye. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.